I never thought I'd be sharing this story, but what happened to me last autumn in the Cascade Mountains still keeps me up at night. You know those moments when reality starts to blur? Yeah, this was one of those. I'd been hiking for about 4 hours when I first noticed something wasn't quite right. The woods had gone eerily quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves, just the crunch of my boots on the trail. That's when I saw it. A wolf standing about 50 yards away watching me with these intense blue eyes. But here's the thing that made my blood run cold. This wasn't just any wolf. It looked exactly like my childhood dog, Max. Same white fur, same distinctive black patch over the right eye. Max had died when I was 12, and I'd never quite gotten over losing him. The resemblance was so uncanny that for a moment, I actually called out his name. The wolf's head tilted at my voice, just like Max used to do. I know how crazy this sounds, but it seemed to be semi-transparent, like smoke caught in a beam of sunlight. As I backed away, it followed, keeping the same distance between us. No matter how fast I walked or which direction I turned, there it was. The sun was setting when things got worse. The temperature dropped suddenly and I could see my breath in the air. The wolf got closer and closer until I could hear its paws on the ground, except there was no sound when they touched the earth. That's when I started running. I felt a sharp pain across my back as I sprinted down the trail. The wolf had lunged and scratched me. I still have the scars to prove it, 3 parallel lines that the doctors can't explain. They say they look more like frost burns than claw marks. I made it to my car somehow, my hands shaking so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. As I pulled away, I caught one last glimpse in my rearview mirror. The wolf was sitting there watching me leave, and then it simply faded away like morning mist. I've never gone back to those trails, and I probably never will. But sometimes, on cold nights when I'm alone, I swear I can hear the soft pad of phantom paws following me, reminding me that some things in this world just can't be explained. I never thought seeking shelter from a storm would change our lives forever. That night, Jake, Mike, and I were caught in the worst downpour I'd seen in years. We were about 2 miles from home when Jake spotted this old government building. You know, one of those generic concrete structures with no windows that you never really notice. The fence had a hole just big enough for us to squeeze through. We figured, hey, better than getting soaked, right? Man, if we'd known what we were about to find, we would have just embraced the rain. The building was eerily quiet, except for the storm outside and our squeaking wet shoes on the tile floor. Our phone flashlights barely cut through the darkness, casting long shadows down the empty corridors. It felt wrong, but curiosity pushed us deeper inside. That's when we found it, this massive room with equipment I'd never seen before. But what really got us were these 2 glass boxes, lit up by emergency power. Inside, God, I still get chills thinking about it. 2 people just floating there in some kind of liquid. They looked asleep, but something was off. Their skin had this grayish tint, and there were these changes. I don't even know how to describe them. Above the boxes, there was this biohazard symbol and some scientific name I couldn't pronounce. Mike, being the science geek, started taking pictures with his phone. That's probably what got us in trouble. We were so focused on what we were seeing that we almost missed the sound of voices echoing from down the hall. Jake grabbed both of us and practically threw us behind some equipment. Heavy footsteps and flashlight beams swept through the room. We barely made it out through a back door, running through the rain like our lives depended on it. We thought that would be the end of it. We were wrong. It started subtly at first. Black vans parked across from school, men in suits watching us during lunch break. Now, 3 months later, they don't even try to hide it anymore. They follow us home every day. The worst part? Mike's photos disappeared from his phone that same night. But they got what they wanted. We're too scared to tell anyone what we saw. Sometimes I catch myself wondering about those people in the boxes, about what was really going on in that facility. But then I see another black van in my rearview mirror, and I force myself to stop thinking about it. I guess some secrets are meant to stay buried, even if you accidentally stumble upon them. Just, if you ever find yourself seeking shelter from a storm, make sure you know what kind of shelter you're running into. I still remember that day like it was yesterday, even though it's been a whole year now. I was just 11, angry at my parents over something so stupid. I think they wouldn't let me go to a friend's sleepover or whatever. You know how kids can be, right? Everything feels like the end of the world. So I did what any stubborn kid would do. I ran away. Not far, just to the woods behind our house. I'd been there hundreds of times before, building forts and playing hide and seek. It was my safe place. Or at least I thought it was. The sun was starting to set when I heard my dad's voice calling for me. "Tommy, come on, buddy, I'm not mad anymore." I remember feeling relieved, thinking he'd come to bring me home. I could see his silhouette through the trees, waving at me to follow him. But something felt off. The way he moved wasn't quite right. And his voice, it sounded like my dad, but there was this weird echo to it, like someone trying really hard to copy him. Before I could figure it out, he led me to this cave I'd never noticed before. That's when things got really messed up. As soon as I stepped inside, I realized it wasn't my dad at all. The thing, because I can't call it a person, turned around and I can't even describe what I saw. I just know I'll never forget those eyes. I spent 2 days in that cave, trapped in the darkness. I could hear it outside, still using my dad's voice, trying to trick me into coming closer to the entrance. The real search parties were out there too, but this thing kept mimicking their calls, confusing everyone. I finally managed to escape when it started raining heavily. The sound must have masked my footsteps, and I just ran and ran until I found the actual search team. But here's the scariest part. Last week, my best friend Mike went missing in those same woods. And yesterday, his little sister said she heard him calling for help from between the trees. People keep telling me it was just my imagination, that I was a scared kid who got lost. But I know what I saw. And now, with Mike missing, I can't help but wonder if that thing is still out there, waiting for its next victim.